Once upon a time, in a bustling city in Nigeria, there was a company called BrightFuture Enterprises. It was one of the most successful companies in the region, known for its innovative ideas and rapid growth. At the helm of this enterprise was Mrs. Amara Okafor, a brilliant and hard-working woman who had built the company from nothing. Amara had started Bright Future in a small office, armed with little more than a second-hand computer, a simple desk, and a big dream. Through sheer determination, sleepless nights, and unwavering faith, she turned her vision into reality. Amara wasn't just a businesswoman, she was a trailblazer. Her dream was to create a company where employees felt valued, supported, and inspired to achieve their best. For years, Bright Future thrived as a workplace that embodied these ideals. Amara knew the names of every employee, celebrated their milestones, and was deeply involved in the day-to-day running of the company. But as the business expanded and the staff grew into the hundreds, cracks began to form in the once close-knit culture. The first signs of trouble appeared during a quarterly HR review. Amara was handed an anonymous report filled with complaints about mistreatment and toxic behavior within the company. Some employees described feeling invisible, while others reported outright bullying and favoritism. A particularly jarring statement read, "This is not the bright future we were promised." That night, Amara stayed in her office long after everyone had left. She replayed the words of the report in her mind, her heart heavy with disappointment. How could her beloved company have strayed so far from her vision? She considered the possibility that the layers of management she had put in place were failing her, or, worse, that she had become too distant to notice the issues. She knew that surface-level solutions wouldn't suffice. To truly understand the depth of the problem, Amara decided she needed to see it for herself, unfiltered and unvarnished. Her decision wasn't made lightly. Amara spent several sleepless nights debating her plan. She was stepping into unknown territory, exposing herself to potential humiliation and danger. Her husband, Chijioke, was skeptical. "Are you sure this is necessary?" he asked one evening as they sat in their living room. "You've worked so hard to build this company. What if this backfires?" Amara took his hand and replied, "If I don't do this, everything I've built might crumble anyway. I need to know the truth." With the help of an old friend who ran a staffing agency, Amara crafted a new identity. She became Ada Inkim, a temporary cleaning staff member, trading her elegant suits for a plain uniform and her polished heels for worn-out shoes. She blended seamlessly into the background. On her first day as Ada, she entered the Bright Future office building with a mix of excitement and trepidation. No one recognized her. From the start, Amara's experiences were eye-opening. As Ada, she encountered subtle slights and outright disrespect. Many employees ignored her presence entirely, while others treated her as if she were invisible. Some interactions were outright demeaning. "Hey, cleaner, pick that up," barked a worker who didn't even glance at her. Another deliberately spilled coffee on the floor, watching with a smirk as Amara cleaned it up. The senior staff were no better. Mr. Babajide, a high-ranking manager, scolded her for emptying his trash can too loudly. "Can't you do anything right?" he snapped. His words stung, but Amara bit her tongue, determined to observe without revealing her true identity. On another occasion, a group of employees mocked her as she struggled to clean a particularly messy break room. "Looks like you missed a spot," one of them sneered, kicking crumbs toward her feet. The disrespect wasn't limited to her. Amara observed a culture of hostility and indifference that permeated many departments. Junior staff were often ridiculed for asking questions, and support workers were treated as if they were beneath everyone else. In the storage room, she found a young employee named Kiyoma crying quietly. Kiyoma confessed that she felt undervalued and doubted her future at the company. "I don't know how much longer I can take this," she said, her voice trembling. There were also moments that deeply unsettled Amara. She overheard a group of managers making cruel jokes about the cleaning staff during lunch. "They're lucky they even have jobs," one of them said, laughing. On another occasion, she saw an intern being publicly humiliated during a presentation, with a supervisor calling their work a disgrace. These incidents painted a grim picture of a company culture that had gone astray. Not everyone was unkind. Amara noticed a few employees who treated her with respect. A junior worker named Tundi always greeted her warmly and even helped her carry heavy trash bags one evening. Another employee, Adaobi, offered her a drink of water when she looked particularly exhausted. Their small acts of kindness stood out against the backdrop of pervasive negativity. As the week progressed, Amara's resolve deepened. She realized that the toxic behavior wasn't just about individuals, it was a systemic issue. Even those who were kind seemed hesitant to speak up, likely fearing backlash or isolation. At the end of her undercover stint, Amara decided it was time to take action. She called for an all-hands meeting. When the employees gathered in the conference room, they were shocked to see Ada the cleaner walk to the front of the room, only to remove her cap and reveal herself as Mrs. Amara Okafor, their CEO. "I worked as a cleaner in this company for the past week," Amara began, her voice steady but filled with emotion. "I wanted to see how our staff are treated, especially those whose jobs are often overlooked. What I witnessed was deeply disappointing." The room fell silent. Amara continued, "Some of you treated me and others with kindness and respect, and I thank you for that. But many of you were rude, dismissive, and even cruel. This is not the bright future I envisioned when I started this company." Her gaze swept across the room, meeting the eyes of some of the worst offenders, who now looked down at their feet in shame. "From today forward, things will change," Amara declared. "We will be implementing mandatory training on respect, empathy, and teamwork. Anyone who fails to uphold our values will face serious consequences. This is not just about policies, it's about creating a culture where everyone feels valued, no matter their role." Over the following months, Bright Future underwent a dramatic transformation. Amara introduced initiatives to foster a positive work environment, including anonymous feedback channels, recognition programs for employees who demonstrated kindness, and regular check-ins with all staff levels. She also continued to occasionally disguise herself, not always as a cleaner, but sometimes as a receptionist or a temp worker, to ensure the changes were genuine and lasting. One day, Kioma, the junior employee who had once cried in the storage room, knocked on Amara's office door. "I just wanted to say thank you," Kioma said, her voice filled with gratitude. "This place feels completely different now. I finally feel like I belong." Amara smiled, her heart swelling with pride. Moments like these reminded her of why she had started Bright Future in the first place. Bright Future Enterprises not only regained its reputation as a leading company, but also became known as a model workplace where employees thrived. Amara's bold decision to step into another's shoes had not only saved her company, but had also reinforced her belief in the power of empathy and understanding. And so, the CEO, who once disguised herself as a cleaner, became a legend, admired not just for her business acumen, but for her unwavering commitment to her values.